This is Darrell White with Carte Blanche Media, and today I have as my guest CJ Gilbert of Jungle Studios, and he's also the host of Ask a Web Geek. CJ, thank you so much for taking the time today. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, Darrell. Thank you so much for having me on your show today.
No problem. My first question for you is, if you could, tell me a little bit more about yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been a computer geek all my life. It's not a surprise to people who know me that I've always been into computers and dabbling with stuff since the 80s in computers and stuff like that. It was in around 1995 when I was in high school that the internet was born, and I had already been playing with internet, almost internet things. I have to explain to people that right before there was the internet, we used these things called modems to connect our computers together and exchange messages and play games. So that was the internet before there was the internet. So it was a pretty easy transition when the internet was born. I was playing with it right away, and a friend of mine, her dad owned a computer company, and he needed a couple guys to start a web design team and start working with local business owners. So that's kind of how I got into it. 1995, went to work for this guy at his computer company and started building websites and helping local business owners with websites at that time.
Wow, that's amazing. So that kind of I think almost answers my next question, but I'll ask it anyway. So what kind of got you started into your own website agency? Was that just kind of an outshoot from working on the web design side of the guy you were working for first?
Yeah, it was, but it wasn't, because when I was in school, I was doing websites and I enjoyed it very much, but I was actually pre-med. And so I spent a lot of time in, math classes and psychology and studying pre-med topics like biology and anatomy and physiology. And I was enrolled in a medical program. I actually went to live in Moscow, Russia for a semester in my kind of first college year. And so that was a really interesting experience, and then came back and, started dabbling in different industries. So I was in the banking industry for about 3 months, and I was like, nah, I don't really like this. And I got offered a job at Geico Direct, the insurance company. So I went to work for them, and I really enjoyed working for them. Worked for them for a couple of years, went to work for AAA for a couple of years. So I was really mainly doing sales kinds of jobs in the insurance space. And then I got tired of the constant sales pressure, but I was fortunate that I could kind of move sideways into an inspection role, and I enjoyed doing that. I got to drive all over San Diego and see people's houses and boats and cars and take a picture and say, yep, it exists, and yep, keep insuring it. But I didn't have to do any of the sales. And long story short, I ended up getting hurt on the job. I was inspecting a house, and I ended up falling through their stairs in their back deck. And
oh, wow.
When I'm talking in groups,
that was probably not insurable.
It was not, right? Exactly. Yeah. I don't actually know what happened with their policy after that, because I was pulled out of it. But it's interesting that a lot of people I talk to, they have some kind of point where something pivoted or something changed for them. And for me, it was an accident, and I got hurt, and I hurt my back, and I hurt my knee. And they're like, well, you can't hike all over San Diego anymore. What else do you know how to do? And when I mentioned web design, they said that was something that they could get behind, and they paid for me to go to a course in multimedia technology design. And I opened up my own business in 2006 doing website design full time.
Fantastic. Now, since 2006, almost 20 years there, it's getting close. What has kind of been your biggest challenge there since you got started there?
Great question. What I discovered is entrepreneurs and business owners, kind of like me, it's almost like you get into this business, or you have a business for yourself, not like you went to school for business and then you decided to open up a business. It kind of happens another way around. Like you have a skill or a particular gift in some area, you know how to fix cars, you know how to bake cupcakes, and so you open up a business to do that thing. And then really quickly you discover that owning a business and running a business is so much more than just I know how to fix cars. I know how to bake cupcakes. I know how to build websites. All of a sudden you've got to think about marketing and websites and email and, all this stuff that's outside of, I know how to do this one thing and serve people with this one thing. Now I have to think about my running a business on top of, I know how to do this particular skill set.
Okay. All right. So what has kind of been your biggest success since starting your business?
Great question. It wasn't but a few months to years into kind of owning my own business and doing this that I really started to ask myself the question, what should a website do for a business? Because I would ask people what they want their website to do and who their target market is, and I would get a lot of blank stares back. And I'm in this midst of running my own business and trying to study how to run a business. And so I'm kind of just learning how these things work. And so I sat down to kind of think out, what should a website do for a business? Most business owners know they need a website, but they have no idea what to do with it. So I took it on myself. What should a website do? And I recognized that everything that I had been doing in my own job career life, I'd had customer service jobs, I'd had sales jobs, I'd been answering the phone, I'd been filing paperwork, all of those things all of a sudden came back to me. And as I was writing, I ended up writing a book on what the website should do for you. You have a plug for my book right here, 5 Golden Keys to Sharpen Your Website. And basically what it comes down to is your website is a tool. It's a tool for your business. And if you think of it like that, then it automatically leads you to using it as a sales tool to attract more customers to you, make more sales, improve your customer service. Those are things that add up to help you save time, save money, and ultimately serve your clients better, faster, and easier. And that's when not only am I building the websites, but I really became an author and a speaker and a teacher, because now I'm teaching people, use your website as a tool for your business, and you can make it work for you.
Okay, awesome. Well, my next question is book related. You can go ahead and share your book one more time, but I want to ask you, after your own book, what is your favorite marketing book there, or just business book in general?
Great question. Absolutely. I think one of my favorite books that I've read and continue to go back to is The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. He really puts things in terms of, even if you're a one-man business operation, to still think of your business like a full company and to kind of list out what all those jobs are, that even if you're a one-man show, you're doing all of those jobs. And anyone that's an entrepreneur like I am can feel that after time, because you're your own salesperson, you're your own customer service person, you're your own technician, so you begin to really feel that after a while. But Michael's book illustrates, you create the structure of your company, and then when you're ready and you choose to, you can start hiring people to do some of those individual jobs that you no longer want to do. And I think that mindset and that idea has really been very helpful to me over these years.
Fair enough. Next question is kind of asking about podcasts, and I know you host your own podcast. Maybe you could tell me a little bit more about that and kind of what you do there, and then what is your favorite podcast outside of your own podcast?
Absolutely. So my own podcast is Ask a Web Geek, and it's also a YouTube channel, and in it I'm tackling business topics. I'm really answering questions on how people can better make use of their website, their social media, email marketing, as well as all the many other tools that are available to us on the internet. And the greatest thing that I recommend to people is to remember this one phrase: your website is the only thing you can fully own and control online. And isn't it true that every other platform out there is telling you to come to their platform and basically build up their website? And there's value there, because if you have people there, if your audience is there, you want to have a presence there so you can attract people back to you. But I want you to remember, your own website is the only thing you can fully own and control. So on my show, we're back and forth between, here's how to use your own website and make the most of it, and how to use all those other tools and things that are available to you.
Very cool.
And then as far as podcasts that I listen to, there's a couple business related podcasts that I listen to, but typically I listen to podcasts for fun. So there's a couple comedy podcasts I listen to. There's some gaming, board game related podcasts I listen to. One of my favorites is called The Dice Tower. And yeah, and they talk about board games of all kinds. And then there's a few others that I've listened to over the years. One by Kevin Smith and some of the people that he knows back from New Jersey. It's called Tell 'em Steve Dave is one of the podcasts I listen to. All comedy and really not business related, but those are my favorites.
So I'm gonna go on a tangent here.
Please.
A little bit. Your name of your podcast is Ask a Web Geek. There, would you kind of consider yourself kind of a geek in other areas too? Like you're talking about dice, or talking Dungeons and Dragons, or whatnot, or what?
Absolutely, yeah. I love video games, board games. Yeah, I'm definitely a geek in many areas. Yeah, movies, books, TV shows, for sure.
So another little aside, I volunteered the second year for the Phoenix Comic-Con. You are in San Diego, the home of Comic-Cons there. Well, Phoenix Fan Fusion, because Comic-Con doesn't like other people calling their cons Comic-Con. Have you been to a San Diego Comic-Con there, the original there, since you're out there?
I have been to it. Yeah, it's really intense. I'm not one of those people that's there like every year and has my passes and that kind of thing. Gotcha. I'm not that deep into it, but I have seen it, and it is quite extensive. That's for sure. Okay,
never been, want to go. I will move on.
Absolutely.
As far as kind of like YouTube channels or video trainings there, I know you have your own YouTube channel. It's there, but outside of your own here, which you talked about a little bit, are there any channels that you kind of watch pretty religiously, or anything that you gained insights for your business, or not?
Absolutely. Yeah. One of my mentors in business is Eric Lofholm, who teaches sales principles. And a lot of the videos that he makes, they do teach sales principles, but he's kind of now gone over into kind of just a general motivational kind of topic. So for a little while, he was doing an everyday 15-minute motivational message on his YouTube channel, which I did watch every day. Right now it's gone weekly, so it's every Friday. And I absolutely recommend his material, his channel. Eric Lofholm, I think the channel might be called Eric Lofholm Sales Champion, if that helps you find it. And I highly recommend his work. His motivation keeps me going and gives me new business and sales ideas all the time.
We'll have to check that out. How do you spell Lofholm? Just
Lofholm is L. You know what? I'm going to give you a resource that you can go to on my page, and you'll find him there. He's one of the resources I offer. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Speaking of resources, we were just about to get into that. Yeah, what is the most helpful resource or tool that you've used for your business in, say, the past year there?
You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say it's YouTube, because a very interesting thing has happened that you would think I might have seen coming, but I really didn't see coming. And that is, when I created my podcast, I also released the full videos on YouTube. And then all kind of last year, I went through every episode of my podcast and made smaller videos for my YouTube channel so that each video could be focused on a particular topic, a particular question and answer. And that has had the most impact for me. It's been so helpful. As people have asked me questions again, I can just turn around and send them the link to the video. Oh, I answered that question right here, and I could just send it to them. And it's also fantastic content to release on your own social media, all the time. So it's been, I didn't see it coming. I probably should have, but just creating these numerous YouTube videos has been an enormous help to me, let alone people that may find them and use them in their business. I've been using them in my business, and I think that's amazing.
I agree with you 100%. And YouTube Shorts there has kind of become a bigger and bigger deal there. I think I'm getting more traction with that right now.
Absolutely,
anything
yes.
Else, so
yeah.
Two more questions for you here, and then I'll let you go. What would you say is the most impactful piece of advice that you could give to somebody who is kind of looking to improve their website or website design there?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to give you a free resource you can check out. I told you about the book that I created. What I did then was take the main principles from this book and I made a free video course out of it, which you can find at mywebsitesafari.com. mywebsitesafari.com. It's a free video series. There's 7 videos and they're each about 10 minutes a piece. And what they do is they walk you through the main principles of my book, which is basically to think of your website like a tool for your business. And then you can specifically use it in 3 areas. I call it your search, your sales, and your service. Your search is how people are finding you, how they're looking for you on the internet. Your sales is what allows you to attract people to you. And then the magic phrase that we want people to think of when it comes to your sales is people choose the familiar. So what you want to do through your website is allow people to become familiar with you and your work, and they begin to develop that familiar feeling for you. And then when they're ready to make a buying decision, choosing who they want to work with, they're going to rely on that familiar feeling they've created for you and hopefully choose to do business with you. So that's one of the things I'll give you right now, but please do check out that workshop and get all the tips that I've got for your website.
Fantastic. And my last question here for you, CJ, is how can people get a hold of you or learn more about you? You've given us a couple little sources here, but what are kind of some of the best ways to get a hold of you?
Absolutely. Well, my main website is Jungle Studios. That's jungle-studios.com. And I have a special page on that website, which I call my Meet CJ page. So it's jungle-studios.com/meet-CJ. And on this page, I've put a little bitty bio about myself, skip right over that, and go to the resources I've got. I've got my free video workshop right at the top. I've got my Ask a Web Geek YouTube channel and many suggested topics from there that you can check out. And then I've got a bunch of other resources and training too. Free social media training, a free LinkedIn training. I've also got links to Eric Lofholm and his material. I did a great webinar with him, as well as my speaking coach, RV Robinson. So I would say go check out all of those resources, whether you're looking to improve your sales, your public speaking, or your website. I've got a resource to share with you.
Well, CJ Gilbert, thank you so much for taking the time today. I really appreciate it. And you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much, Darrell. Really appreciate you having me today.